There is a series that is very beloved to me, although I initially considered it horrible. This series is Shadow of the Beast. When I first purchased the original game on the Genesis for $3 from a guy named Benny, I was pretty disgusted. I mean, look at this thing. It's ugly and horrifying. The physics are strange and it's nearly impossible. The graphics were very European and the music was downright scary. Giant enemies with their butts sticking out. Huge tree things. Bugs. Bloody hands. Deadly water droplets. Devil hands and rockets. Come on. As a robot, made in Europe, I know what a European game looks like. I turned this game off, and threw it in a pile of games that I planned to never play again. But then, something interesting happened. I woke up the next morning hearing the call of the beast. I was now determined to figure this game out. It was extremely difficult, but I really wanted to know what it was about and how far I could get. So I began to play. This game is a fairly standard platformer of the time. You play as the beast with a very short, but strong, punch. You encounter very strange enemies and other things. Some you can kill, some you cannot. You never really know what you can kill until you try, really. The back of the box never prepared me for what I was going to encounter on my journey. Look at this. Tuscan head. What in the world is a Tuscan head? All I know is he gets his own music. In any case, I pushed forward, first losing handfuls of lives but getting better along the way. After many losses, I began figuring the game out. The graphics became more appealing, the enemies seemed less intimidating, the music started to grow on me, and then, inevitably, I fell in love. So once I beat the Genesis version of Beast, I did some research, and realized that it was made for every system imaginable. I thought to myself, how much better can it get? Every single version of this game has something that's uniquely special about it. The Amiga is the original with great music and overall solid graphics. The Master System version is super difficult, ugly, even by Shadow of the Beast standards, and hard to control. But it has a funky menu system that I like. The Genesis version is the most familiar to me and holds a special place. It's pretty faithful to the original Amiga version. There is a prototype SNES version that's much easier to play and features a nice continue system, but it's missing all the heart of the Genesis version. Believe it or not, it just isn't as gritty and nasty as any of the other ports. Beast really relies on its dark and difficult atmosphere. Beast even made his way over to the Lynx. What is this thing, you ask? The Atari Lynx was a strange handheld system in the 90s that I didn't care for. Everyone was busy playing Game Boy and Game Gear. I don't think the system was very popular. I only physically saw it once. It does, however, have one of my favorite versions of Beast on it. This one is all about scaling. Apparently, the Lynx loved to do scaling. Look at this craziness. This version is a ton of fun and very faithful to the original. In some ways, it's even better than the original. People new to the series should play this version to get them started. Finally, moving to arguably the greatest version of Shadow of the Beast, the PC Engine version. It's simply the most fun. Strong graphics, easy to play, the controls are very responsive, and if you already played the Genesis version, you should be a pro of this. The biggest reason that this version beats all the others is the most noticeable: the CD quality music. Listen to this. What a huge difference over the other versions. This is why I love Beast so much. Every version of this game is a new experience. They all have something special for you to find. The basics are mostly the same for all. You fight through the plains, your house, and some old castle. Of course, your staircase would have a fire-breathing dragon mouth on it. You're welcomed into this castle by this strange demon dude, and then you fly a spacesuit and kill a boss. Good luck getting this far. Eventually you fight a giant toenail and end the horror. Good job, but that's not where it ends. The real subject of this episode is Shadow of the Beast 2. The doorbell. Who could it possibly be? Tuscan head, get out of my house. Anyway, back to Shadow of the Beast 2. In this game, you are no longer the beast. Instead, you're a dude with armor, or a dude with a loincloth in the Genesis version. This game also has a few versions, but I find the Sega CD game the best of all. The graphics are far better than the Genesis, the control is tighter, but, best of all, in true Sega CD fashion, this game features an awesome CD quality soundtrack and a ton of voice acting. Yes, the greatest part of this game is the voice acting. It really changes everything.
Thank you, my friend, but my companion has already been kidnapped and taken to Ishran.
Halt, stranger. No one passes through our wood.
Thank you, stranger. Take this amulet and return it to our master Barloom. I'm sure that he will reward you.
I've been expecting this. Thank you for returning my amulet. He can use
Find back the drawbridge.
A bag of 60 coins and to tell you that there is a thought I recognized you. Fart here. Have a drink.
You pass by entire areas and just destroy whole civilizations. One of my favorite parts is diving underground into the goblins' lair. These goblins are so kind to explain everything to you. It's pretty incredible.
He's killed the drawbridge winder.
You've penetrated the goblins' outer defenses.
Just like the first game, if you don't do things in the right order, you mess everything up and cannot advance. You kill strange enemies and solve strange puzzles. If you don't have a potion to put the guard to sleep, you're dead. You even free some friendly goblins only to use them as bait to get yourself out of here. There is so much fun here. This game is just too good. I can play this all day. Who is it now? Please remove yourself from my sight.
I'm the Goblin's relations manager.
What do you want?
You've insulted the Goblin's prideful culture.
Your whole lair was destroyed by one naked man with a mace. You are completely incapable of surviving in the cruel world of the beast. Get out of my sight. Anyway, back to Shadow of the Beast. This is unbelievable.
I'm the Goblin's revenge taker.
Just remove yourself from my home.
You've insulted my emotional defenses.
Anyway, the beast's punch is replaced by a cool mace this time. You're on a quest to find the sorcerer Zelek and save your sister. Along the way you will be freaked out by various monstrosities and some cool allies.
What do you want?
One of my favorite parts are these cutscenes. Especially the one where you befriend a water dragon thing and ride off into the night. Beautiful. What more could you possibly want? This game will take you through some amazing locations. You'll do your best to save your health. You will find shortcuts and tactics to survive. You will be treated to great cutscenes. You'll make your way to Zalek. You'll save the day and destroy his castle. Then you can enjoy the great riff of this quality music, as you feel good about yourself. After Part 2, I didn't think this series could get any better. Part 3 was not on the Sega CD, so I was very disappointed. I did play it on the Amiga. It is also an interesting game. You have a choice of a handful of worlds. Each one has a specific quest that you need to fulfill, usually by solving puzzles and killing monsters. At the start of every stage, you are visited by an old man with an item next to his face. Some of these items seem very strange. Sometimes it feels like you are just collecting items on this old man's grocery list. This is by far the most puzzle-heavy game of the three. The puzzles are just as cryptic and funny as ever. For example, hiding in this random barrel and being thrown into the river to get through. Some of the puzzles really require you to think things through before you do them. This part is particularly frustrating. Eventually you make it to the big ugly bad guy and everything turns out okay. The old man is very pleased with you. This game is extra fun because it lets you choose where you want to go. It also feels like it's easier to play but not less difficult than the previous games. Even killing enemies is fun. You now have these cool ninja stars that are much easier to use than anything from the previous games. There's plenty of weird bad guys to kill too. Once you figure out the way out of each stage, you reunite with the old man and are sent on your way. This game is a solid platformer, a solid end to a quality trilogy. There is a fourth game that was, oh boy, what is it now? Old man, aren't we finished? What else do you need from me?
A basket for weaving, sir. Toothpaste for proper cleaning. Medicine to relieve indigestion. Salt and vinegar, potato crisps, breakfast sausage. Your quest is not finished yet.